All right, ladies and gentlemen, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Recently, I've had a couple people, individuals, different ages, come to me inquiring about rituals, specifically that of compassion or lust. Now, for those of you who do not know the difference between the types of rituals, there are three classifications that can be broken down into dozens of different types of rituals that you can perform underneath these three categories. Categories. Yeah, you can't even speak today. These three titles. Okay. Lust ritual, which is anything to do with relationships. Okay. Either against somebody's will or with somebody's will, finding a zombie type relationship, a one night stand, you name it. Even breaking up people who are in a relationship, down to actually bringing people together. There's a lot of things that play underneath just the lust ritual alone. Okay. A compassion ritual is everything from helping somebody find monetary gain, meaning money, finances, a home, perhaps even, going from one state to another, financially speaking. Okay. Things that are not going somebody's way that can be put in order. Right down to say, you know, illness, perhaps you're in need of some healing or counseling, psychic fulfillment, if you wish. If you wish to call it that. Psychic fulfillment is more of the fact that you're looking for a reading, perhaps something to do with, a cleansing of a home or, perhaps cleansing of yourself, through your chakras, your kundalini. Um, going even further into this, you can even go into things such as protection, cloakings, things that will benefit yourself, your family, and your clients. Okay. Like I said, there are dozens that can go into these categories. So the third one is what is known as destruction rituals. Okay. Destruction rituals falls into the category of jinxes, hexes, curses, anything that is considered to be baneful sorcery. And I know a lot of people, when they hear baneful sorcery, they just want to run for the hills. You know, but then you got these other ones that haven't been practicing very long that they're like, I don't care. I just want this or that to happen. I want this person dead because they took my kids away, or I want this or that because this person said no to me. A lot of times it's this childish things that just, it's like, no, I'm not going to help you on that. You get your head together and figure out what you want, and then we'll sit down and we'll talk. But I'm not going to do something out of anger or hate, okay? Just because somebody scolded you. Okay? So these are those three main sources. Okay? Compassion, lust, and destruction. All right? Now, when we talk about these rituals, there are numerous different methods that you can employ. Like I said, I recently had a couple people come to me over a couple of different topics. One I'm not really sure is sincere about their content. The other one is completely obsessive. Okay. So much so that this individual lost all friends, all um, just about everything. The obsession has them blocked. Okay. But this person did a spell that would, how should I say this? A lust ritual is what it's called. And it's called bring this person to me type spell. Okay. And what's ironic about this is that this individual had this strong feeling that the individual was going to make contact. Hasn't talked to the individual in like a month or two. Okay. Not even a month or two. And I just asked one question. When did you perform the spell? About a week ago. Give it time to seep in. So when we look at these spells, there's numerous different ways of doing it. So you're not going to change the person's mind, number one. Hey, Furfoot, chill out. Bella. My familiar's over here freaking out on the table. If I didn't know any better, I'd say she got into the nip. But anyways, there's a lot of different ways that you're going to be doing this. So you're not going to change the person's mind. Okay, they're not going to be patient. They're not going to be open to allowing the spell work to do. But when this individual gave me the spell that was handed to her, to this person, okay, it came to me. I just laughed. I literally just laughed. It's like, these witch wannabes. And I found it very interesting because of the fact that it was a box with a candle with some blood. Okay. Okay, two different candles, pink and red. But and all that was incorporated in this was a photo and blood. Okay, or an item of this person, the obsessed. And I found it very funny because of the fact this is a weak spell. This is something an amateur would give you. Okay. And it's really sad to see that so many are taking advantage in such a way, but there are methods that you can use. Okay, you want to use a mason jar, for an example, if you want to do a sweetener spell, is what most Wiccans and pagans refer to it today. Okay, mason jar, personal items, his and yours. One red and one black candle, celery, rosemary, and rose petals, and red wine. Okay. Now, the thing about celery is celery is associated with the reproductive system. Okay. Think of it as lighting that proverbial fire for compassion, for that attention. Okay. Red wine is associated with the overall application of romance. The relaxation, the comfortability. Rose petals are associated with relationship status, love, commitment, stuff like this. Okay. Items of, how should I say this? The items of his and hers. Okay. This type of thing is a connected item. These things will link and bond the two of you together. It will link the two of you together. And that's something you really want to pay attention to. Now, when you have the overall ingredients, you can pour them and place them in. One of the things that you can also do is pick up ribbon, okay? Purple or red or pink ribbon that can bind them together. You know, those of you who know the ancient customs of marriage, they would do what is known as a hand fasting technique, where they would drape rope over both your hands. They would tie you together. And that's basically what a marriage is. Okay. And if your intent is sincere enough, this can actually play into effect. Now, once you've done all this, you can place them in the canning jar, okay? The mason jar itself. At that point, the red wine or some kind of citrus can take place, okay? Now, what do I mean by citrus based? Anything that brings bubbles, like wine. You know how you pour wine in and it creates bubbles on top? Or even, say for an example, soda. You know, you shake up the soda and all, or you're pouring the soda in and it just all of a sudden takes off with bubbles. That's citrus. Okay, that's the acid within these drinks that you are ingesting. In this case, you're going to be pouring that into the jar, filling it right up. Okay, and this is one of the most common and most easiest spells to perform. Literally, the most easiest. Anyone can do it. You get a 2-year-old pitching a tantrum and they perform this, obviously it's going to ricochet and go all over the freaking place because of the fact that it will manifest, but it takes time. In this case, like I said, you're filling it up. You want to make sure that it goes just above or to the rim of where all the items are. Okay? This will allow the citrus to break it down and to mold it together. Okay. Think of placing herbs, spices, and together with water. Basically, what you're going to do is make it a paste. But in this case, you are literally breaking it down in an alchemical sequence, putting them together, calling forth them. Okay. And then after you do that and you put the cover on, make sure to have the candles lit during this process so you get a good amount of candle wax. Okay. Because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be holding that jar over these candles, going around in circles, a figure eight, the affinity symbol, perhaps even just a plain old circle, okay? And kind of get it to bubble and hiss a little bit. As the candles are burning, you're going to be getting more and more candle wax. So you're going to be pouring that candle wax over this item. So you want to have it in a dish or you want to have it in your burn pot. Okay. A burn pot is very easy to clean out, just like a dish, getting all the excess candle wax off the dish. In this case, you're going to be using the black and the red candle. Okay. Now you can go with a pink candle because pink is associated with compassion and love. Your desire, on the other hand, your passion, that's associated with the red candle. The black candle literally is the void, the nexus. That is where you're going to be sending this off to through your ritual. Okay? And once you feel that connection take place, and trust me, you will know when it is complete because it will just, that desire, that drive will just dissipate. All that energy that you built up while chanting, while contemplating your need to do with this one topic will just vanish. Okay? Now, it's not a permanent thing if what you need is true. Okay? It is more of the fact that it will just simply dissipate because you've utilized that energy. That means you've charged your spell. Now, outside of that, normally I would recommend leaving it on your altar for at least a day. Okay, that's 24 hours. You can bring it up to 48 hours if you want. That's up to you. And then I would disappear, I would get rid of it. I would take it over a mile away, bury it in a graveyard, bury it at a crossroads. If you don't have a crossroads that you can go to, go into the woods. Take your athame or your sword and draw a crossroads in the dirt and then bury it dead center in that crossroads. There's a lot of different things you can do. Now, if you're feeling lazy, which a lot of people do, that's what the dumpster's for. But I would not recommend the dumpster. I would not recommend the dumpster. But you want someplace that will give it life, someplace where it will not be disturbed. Okay? And that's the point of it, because you only want it to be linked between you and who you desire. Another form and method of this is utilizing certain ingredients of herbs. You know, you could place rose petals underneath your pillow and you can dream of that individual. Think of it as a Griskus bag with rose petals in it. And you could also place things like, let's go with ground cinnamon, you know, parsley, basil. These are all things that deal with sexuality. It deals with life, okay, in general. These are all things that you can put into them, not just fruits and vegetables that can go along with it. There's a lot that you can do. These are only just a couple techniques. A third one is you can literally place your blood over them, marking them to be yours. You can literally use an effigy, like a voodoo doll, a photo, a red candle, and you can burn it with your intent. Draw the circle around them, your intent, you know, whatever symbol you want, like the Ankh in Egyptian lore, or you could do the inverted pentagram, whatever. And you just write in what you're looking for out of that individual and then burn it. Use the ashes for future rituals. This is just stuff that you can do. Simple, simplistic things. It's nothing too hard. Well, it is if you don't have the money for it, but still, you get my point. I mean, you can get candles just about anywhere these days. You can go to Walmart, Hobby Lobby, a metaphysical shop, just about anywhere. They have candles nowadays in metaphysical shops. These are witch shops, by the way, that are already set up. So you have destruction rituals, lust rituals, compassion rituals, things for love, desire, sex, whatever. There's a number of different things that they write on the candles that these specific candles are for. Okay. Now, if you really are self-ambitious, you can order the stuff offline, the things that you need. Okay. I have a satanic sister that lives about 5 hours away from me. Okay. She literally went overboard, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not that ambitious when it comes to candles. I mean, I know how to do it, but she literally went out and orders in bulk the candle wax, and she creates her own candles. And you know what? It works for her. You got to find what works for you and how you can employ your sorcery, not just for business, relationships, just about anything across the board. Black magic can help you in these areas. Rituals, ceremonies, even spirits can help you. Asmodeus, for an example, is a great spirit. He's known as the angel of lust. Excuse me. He's known as the angel of lust and wrath. Okay? In the book of Tobit, he was so obsessed with one woman that he was willing to kill the entire family to be with her. That's commitment and dedication. But here's the thing. Another angel steps in and tells the last surviving brother how to keep Asmodeus alive, at bay, with a gallbladder of a fish, a specific fish. Now, you'd be surprised how many magical systems talk about the gallbladder of fish. In voodoo, they have the voodoo powder, the zombie powder, that requires the gallbladder of numerous types of puffer fish. I mean, that's just as an example. I mean, you'd be surprised at what you can do. And the more you put into this, when you put your whole heart, mind, and soul, your will into this ritual or the ritual that you want to perform, you're going to be surprised at what happens. I did a ritual for somebody about 2 years ago. Guy comes through the window where I work today. He says, "Hey, you remember me?" I go, "Yeah, I remember you." He says, he points next to him and in the back seat. He's got a woman next to him and a child in the back seat, just as I said he would. You see, this type of stuff is how much you are willing to dedicate yourself and commit yourself to your sorcery. The more you know, the more you can do. The more you experiment, the better off you are to find a system or a particular method that will work and benefit you as the practitioner. All right? With that said, I hope this has been educational. I hope it's been enlightening. And until next time, have a good one.